All right. We are back. We are back from break here. Okay, I've got the next game set up. This one's going to be very different from, obviously, from Gas Station Simulator. So I wanted to play this game for a while. It's been on my radar for a little bit. And I thought it'd be a really cool, like, visual novel style thing, which for people who've been around this channel for a while, I've done this before. So this game is called That Dragon Cancer, and it is a visual novel about a person who goes through cancer. Now, it is going to be dealing with some heavier themes, but I think it is a very hopeful game. So I think it's worth listening to or watching. But just keep in mind, it's going to deal with some heavier themes. So if it's something you're a little bit concerned about, be aware of that before going in. But I also think these types of games can teach us a lot of things, and also really kind of like put a lot of things and contextualize a lot of things as well. And I think it's good. And I think a lot of these stories have been beautiful. Like, we played a game a while back called Before Your Eyes, which dealt with some similar themes. And I really, really find a lot of value in this stuff. So, you know, let's take a look at it. Let's see what it is. Let's see like what kind of storytelling and like the way that they tell stories in these games. And I think that's what we should try to like focus on, is how do we tell stories? How do we convey feelings? How do we convey moments and make things feel very recognizable? Or how do we convey things in such a way that we can relate to them through a video game that is unique to video games? And I think that's a really interesting concept. I've always been very fascinated with how can you use video games as a medium for storytelling that is completely unique to anything else. So I'm going to get started on this now. Let's see what this is all about. And let's see what it is. Let's see what this is all about. Let's do it. Here we go, guys. Bread on the water. It looks pretty. It does. It's very, very pretty. I love the like kind of like semi like real. It's not realistic, but it's got this like weird ephemeral feel to it. And I kind of like that. It's a Duke. Hello, Duke. Am I the duck? Am I the duck?
Okay, guys, give some to Joel. Share with Joel. Yeah.
Let me check something here. Options. Okay, that's fine. We're going to do this. Fantastic. Shadows. No, we'll do that. They don't have a sound setting here. That's okay. Okay. Let me know if it's too loud. If it is, I could turn it down. I know it's very, like, it seems louder than the last game, so if it is and you can't hear me all that well, let me know. That's fine. I will turn it down. I don't know how to do this. Oh, I am the duck. I'm literally the duck. Oh, I see. I see how it works. Okay.
Just throw little pieces. No, just throw little pieces. We gotta make it last. We don't have that much left.
Okay, guys, give some to Joel. Share with Joel. Yeah. Almost.
This is actually a little bit more involved than I thought it would be.
There we go.
Playing a duck eating bread.
Oh, guys, give Joel some bread.
Oh, he's threw the whole fucking loaf in. Joel.
Well, Isaac, you gotta give him a little piece.
Oh, Isaac, sorry.
Here,
oh.
Joel. Here's a piece.
God, it feels so real. Oh no.
Joel's almost 5, right?
What? Oh, am I a kid now?
But he can't talk.
It's true.
Yeah.
You always can talk.
No.
Why can't Joel?
Well, Joel got sick right after he turned 1.
What happened to Joel?
A little bit, buddy.
So he's just slower than most kids.
What?
I think eventually he'll catch up.
You think Joel will read?
Yeah, I think Joel will read eventually.
Well, I think, of course. He's just delayed. Because, you know.
Yeah.
Joel's supposed to be a boy. But he's a baby. He's a boy baby.
Yep, he's a boy baby.
That's a fair
That's
point.
just about right.
All right.
You know,
What am I
there's
doing?
lots of
Oh,
things
give it a
Joel isn't
bread.
good at,
Okay.
but there's some things he is good at. What is he good at?
Don't throw it at the duck. That's not very nice.
Yeah.
I'm good at making him laugh.
You are good at making him laugh. Why? How do you make him laugh?
I fall down.
Yeah. It's really funny when you fall down.
He's good at doing his words.
Yeah.
What happened to Joel? So he got sick and he's got like a developmental issue. Park at the edge of the world.
What does?
And like I said, if it is too loud, let me know. I can always fix it.
In cups, bathtubs, and the warm, wet tongues and the cool.
I think it might be.
Daws. Give me the sweet was of daily affection, and bye-byes, and lone kisses, and more. Oh, always more. This full list of words. So few words.
Who am I right now? Okay. Okay, so I see the little icons here. Okay. Oh. Okay. Whoa, what did I just do?
Is it time?
I don't know what that means.
But
What?
very soon. Do you think they know?
I don't know anything.
None of them know.
Huh?
No one ever realizes how short the time is.
What? I love the music in this, by the way. That's gorgeous. The music in this is gorgeous. Let me check something here because I just want to make sure that everything's good. I just want to make sure that I can be heard over the music well enough. I think I can. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. I really love the art style of this very much. Okay, so it looks like my choices are to go this way or go that way. Like, it's got a very surrealistic look to it. But it's grounded in a sense of reality, which I think is very interesting.
You won't understand. They will with time. You don't know that.
Who's speaking this? That's really intriguing. I'm very intrigued by that. Who is that? And the music is so beautiful. I love the I've always been like a sucker for like piano with just like strings. Like just kind of a duet between the two. I've always been a sucker for that kind of thing.
What is pain without a word for it?
What?
What is hope without a word for it?
Interesting.
Who is God? What is joy?
And I think that, like, one thing I want people to understand, like, they're going to go into, like, themes of hope, joy, God. But, like, I don't think that we should take that completely literally. Because I feel like to take the idea that somebody is equating God to all of this, it could mean so many things.
Want them to finish well. We all want them to finish well. They won't stop.
Like, there's going to be probably, I think from what I read on this, there is going to be some spiritual discussion. And I'm not that. That's not me. But I do think it's worth examining this kind of thing in the context of people's, like, inner experiences, especially with, like, traumatizing events. I think it's worth having a discussion about, like, why people feel certain things at certain times. And whether or not that is a spiritual thing, or whether or not it's just purely something we use in our minds to contextualize something, I think that's worth doing. Okay, so there's the family again.
Who am I to him? Dada.
So they have, I don't think they have this many kids, but I think it's like representing different moments.
What do you think, Isaac? He's in the hospital, so they're taking care of him, and that's how he gets his food. His food goes through that too. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
You want to touch him? Yeah. Why don't you just pat his cheek, okay?
What?
Okay. Pat his cheek. Yeah. See? It's joy.
One new voicemail. What does that mean?
Hey babe, just got done at the doctor. Now they think that maybe he's throwing up all the time because he has acid reflux. So they gave me a medication and we can give it to Joel, and they said we have to give it at least 3 full days, but that if he's still throwing up after that we can come back. And I mentioned the head tilt thing again, even though they keep saying it's not related, but you always have to mention that one weird outlying thing. So I told them how his head was tilted to the right, but they still say that that's probably not related at all. So
Oh.
I guess we'll just give this a try, and I don't know, I'll tell you more about it when you get home.
Okay, so I'm not gonna say, like, I can't tell you like all the details of how I know this, but like head tilts in babies, especially with like younger children, can actually mean a lot of different things. So like when my sister had a child, they were very concerned about a head tilt because that actually can represent something being very wrong with like equilibrium, which can represent a lot of different things. So I feel like that is more important than they're letting us on to believe.
Are you ready? Set. Go!
So funny.
I mean, the baby ended up being okay, and it wasn't actually a big deal, but that was something they were concerned about. Oh, I'm going to be from up here now, so I'm actually doing this from that perspective now.
Okay, Joel. Ready?
That's cute. Okay.
Set. Are you ready? Set. Go! Okay, Joel, ready?
I think all of this is representing memory in some way. I don't think all this is happening in real time. I feel like this is just memory.
Who's that?
Oh, that's cute.
Joel's doing really well.
Okay.
Yeah. He's been very peaceful all afternoon. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Who's that? I was telling Caleb that Joel's doing really well.
oh, can I go? What would be next then? I think there might be a path over there. Because look, everything's gone except for this one. Did I not finish this? Because notice that everything here except for this one is now done. Oh, it's because I didn't hold it down. Huh. What does that mean? Okay. I don't know if that one can be done, but there's like a... This is the what I was talking about. So this takes me somewhere else. Okay. Oh. Okay, this took a bit of a turn. What the fuck? What the hell? What happened? What? Oh god. Okay, this is giving me like serious Before Your Eyes vibes right here. Oh, that's so similar to what they were doing. That what happened? Oh, it's this game again? I don't know about this game again. I've never played it before. So I don't know. But apparently something happened on this excursion. Did something happen when he was at this park? I think that's what they're trying to imply.
Fear is cancer's preservative.
Oh.
Cancer's embalming oil. And you, O accuser, are fear's oil salesman. You're a snake, a serpent, a dragon with snuffed out coal on his breath, molting, talons broken from the struggle to free yourself of your own skin.
Wow. That's a hell of a delivery right there. Okay, so it looks like a hospital. On hospital time. Oh,
Hey, do you want to rock?
that looks like that's chemotherapy. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, what you're seeing right here is somebody on chemotherapy, which basically is like you're pumping like very strong chemicals into the body to kill cancerous cells. And this shit is harsh. Like from what I've seen of it, from what I recognize of it, but that is like the way they represent it is like harsh glow. Please don't burn me for this. Ugh.
Okay, let's rock. There we go. Oh, shh, 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 shh.
This game is made by a father whose son lost their fight with cancer like at 5 years old. I gotcha. I realize that this is coming from like a very real place, so that I totally get. Oh god. Yeah, and that's what it would be like, because like you're doing this for hours. And that's how long it takes, I think.
Hey, babe, I was just thinking, do you ever think maybe Joel can hear better than he's supposed to be able to? Because I know, like, it's supposed to be moderate to severe hearing loss, but
I'm just
sometimes,
playing,
like,
finished
today he
playing
hears
That Dragon
music
Cancer
playing
computer
before
based
I do.
on the story
So
of Amy
I saw
and
him
Ryan Green, a
dancing,
couple
and
who
I had
lost
to
their
look around
son,
to
Joel,
hear that a song
to
was playing.
cancer
And
when
I
he was
don't-
just 5 years
like, if
old.
his
The
hearing
game
loss
is also
that bad,
subject to
I
an
can't
award-winning
imagine.
documentary.
I don't know,
Thank
I
you
just
for
wonder
playing.
about it.
Oh, interesting.
Anyway, call me later. Bye.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that second part about it being based on another story. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's not good. What's happening? Oh, no, I know. I know. But I do these games for that reason. What do I do about this? Like, I think there's like utility in games of this nature. Oh my god, the perspective of this. Because I think they tell stories in a way that are very powerful, and like in a way that like puts you in a perspective that movies or books or stories cannot generally tell you unless you're doing it from this perspective. Like, this is very interesting. And they're not like overtly like being like, here's the story you're watching. You are making a lot of inferences here. Oh, that's beautiful. You have to put yourself in perspective right here. Because like, what is that? I didn't have cancer. I suffered a massive pulmonary embolism when I was 5 years old and had a massive heart attack. So this screwed with me when I first watched this game. I would only imagine. I can only imagine. I'm sorry to hear that. 5 years ago. Oh, this was 5 years ago. Yeah, I can only imagine. Like, I've seen people go through some very traumatic, like, medical experiences, but like, I think that, goddamn, I feel like putting things in perspective as a person, and like finding what is that, and like putting your emotions into this. I had my PE in 2014 when a massive heart attack in 2021. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Spirit. That's all very recent for you. So, I mean, like I said, you don't have to watch this. And if it's something that like really, really like is too close to you right now, I would definitely not do it. But I think that like I've played games like this before. I played like have you ever seen Before Your Eyes? Oh, I should be doing stuff. Okay, I didn't realize I was supposed to be. I see. Okay. And things like that, where it's like similar style to that. Oh god. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. I didn't realize it was okay. That didn't work as well as I'd hoped. Okay, I see how this works now. But I think these games have like a story that is like worth looking at. Oh god, I'm not doing very well here. Oh god, I didn't know. Ah! What the hell? No! I'm doing so bad. Okay, well, I did horrible. Shit. Where's the baby? Oh, he's over there. How the hell did you get in there? This feels like this happened before the park event. Because he was not that old. Or he was older in the park event.
Oh, hey. I just wanted to take a shower. Is that okay? Are you okay with Joel? Okay, thanks.
Yeah, this jumps back and forth. Got it. Okay, gotcha. Oh, look at the doggy. Oh. Oh. Oh.
He snatches it out of your hand. Take the time. Here, come on up.
Cancer fucking sucks. Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. And there's like, it's one of those things where it's like, how do you deal with something like that? Like, how do you like understand the concept of like cancer is a, I mean, the weird thing about it is like, if you really think about it, and this is not how I mean it to sound, but like cancer is a function of life. Like cancer is something that life creates because we, like, cells of that nature are created to do a certain thing. But what if something goes wrong in that process and like it was inevitable that it would happen? Like cancer is a force of nature that is an inevitability of the thing that makes us us, like a fundamental building block of who we are. Cancer was an inevitability. There's no way around that. And so it's one of those like really difficult things where it's so hard to like process the idea of like, this is something that was going to happen, but we don't have like a complete way to like, it's not truly inevitable. Not everyone gets it. Well, that's not what I mean by that. What I mean is like, if you think about it, like, it's not going to happen to everybody, but it's an inevitability that it will happen. Because if you have like systems like cells or the process of like, you know, creating new cells or like the mitosis that happens with cells, things like that, inevitably in that process, something will go wrong from time to time. Like mathematically, that's going to happen. It's not necessarily that's going to happen to everybody. But when you have a process that is that complex, that fundamental to like the world around us and you as a person, we have to like at least acknowledge that of all the times that that stuff happens, it can't always go right. And that's a really mind fuck of a thing. Like, and I'm not saying it's like good or it's like okay. I'm just saying that like it is a total mind fuck of a thing. I think the story is more one he was born with it. That sounds like that might be the case. Family and color. Unusual gravity. As you might have gathered, the game is not so focused on achieving objectives, but is delivering an interactive memoir of sorts. No, I got that for sure. It's clear. It is clear that the making of this game, Joel's parents, Ryan, is the programmer who quit his full-time job to work on this game, are using tools available to them to tell their stories. Absolutely. And I think, and I don't know this person at all. No, I got you. I don't know this person at all. And obviously I can't like speak for them. I would never do that, but I would say that like I'm actually very glad that they did this. No, I saw it. Yeah, I'll get to it in a second. I'm very glad that they did this. Dance Like No One's Watching. Offspring by Chris Abbey. Huh. As much as it was a painful event, and it will never stop being a painful event for this person, this is therapeutic in a lot of ways. Being able to express yourself in some ways very much helps us to process what's happened. Like so many times in our lives, we've gone through very, very, very traumatic events, and God, that's... But being able to like process them, because like the thing that people don't tell you about these kind of things, Untitled. I wonder if that's the guy. I bet that's him. I bet that's our guy. That looks like the Kool-Aid man. To you, Linda, who made the largest impact. And that is what we're doing. We're just looking at these images to try and see what they're about, which I fully understand. But I feel like going through traumatic events like this is always something that's going to like impact you. And like the thing that I think we always get is like, if we give it enough time, they'll go away, but that's not true. It's never going to leave you 100%. You're always going to be impacted by traumatic events or like things that happen to you in your life. You're always going to have those things. It's always going to be a part of your life. But it is a matter of learning how to live with those, how to deal with those things. How do we, as humans, overcome? How do we learn to live with? And can we ever do that? And I don't know the answer to that. This may be an attempt to help people cope if it ever happens to them, but it's also a memory. Yeah, I think it would be because, like, I don't know if it's like a way of coping. Because I'm not getting a vibe that this person is... May I post a link in the LeemThatStreams? I don't know if it will let you. You could try it. If it does, I'll fix it at that point. I don't think it's a major issue. But actually, you could always do this too. Hold on. If you want to... Yeah, that seems to work. That's him. Okay. Okay, gotcha. It's a long lead, but that's the photo. Gotcha. Okay, thank you. I don't know if it's a way of, like, helping people cope. I think it's a way for him, this father, to cope. And that's not a bad thing. But I also think it's, like, a way to draw people in from the idea that, like, this is how we process things. And in such, maybe somebody else will watch this or play this or see this and find a way to express themselves in a way of coping. Oh, I love these dog photos. Dogs are... aren't they the best? Race away cancer. Got it. It's more of how he coped with it. I agree with that 100%. It is exactly how he did. I agree with that 100%. I think that this was a way... Yeah, dogs don't care who you are or how you look or if you're ill. Yeah. Dogs love you regardless. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh. Amy, okay. Yeah, I'm guessing that's the case, for sure.
Hey, honey, we're on our way home from the hospital now. So if you wanted to preheat the oven starting in about 30 minutes, that would work, and we could throw in that lasagna. Do you know how they celebrate off-treatment day, like when kids are done with their treatments? I guess maybe you don't because you're not in the clinic as much as I am, but on someone's last day, they always bring them a cake, and they sing Happy Off Therapy Day to you.
Ooh.
Anyway, that happened today. I mean, it happens a lot, but today I cried.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted that day so bad. You know? I just, like, we're not ever gonna get that day. If he's better, we won't know that he's better. We don't get a day. Anyway, okay, call me if you can. Like, there's probably traffic, so I could talk on my way home. All right, bye.
Oh, okay, hold on. Okay. Oh, okay, I get it. Oh. Bam. Oh, God, here we go. Hold on. Oh, that's so... Oh my god. Because that's what it is, isn't it? Because cancer doesn't just affect your, like... Eat the chicken from Fable, right?
Before we can have some answers. Did anyone ask the doctor?
Okay, is it just the doctor on call, or is this our doctor? Well, because the on-call doctor is just a resident.
Is there a way we could talk to our doctor? It just seemed like yesterday in clinic they were going to let us go. I just want to know what the plan is.
Who canceled the treatment?
Isn't it dangerous for him not to get it? I thought he needed that.
I know you're just doing the person. Just doing the doctor.
I love the transition from light to dark. And also, like, I was just talking about it a second ago. Cancer doesn't just impact just the cancer. Like, it's not just cancer. Cancer is going to impact every part of your body.
Hello Jinsoku_Kitsune.
Hi Mashinta, don't worry, Mr. Leem, this will confuse you. I agree. I am 100%. Cancer's not something that will just impact you from the cancer itself. It's going to impact you from a lot of things. So all of those medications, are part of other things like immune system, functions of like other functions of like your other organs and things like that. It's gonna be really, really difficult. And like the part about it is like this is a child we're talking about. He has no idea why we're doing any of this stuff. He has no idea. And still look at more of these.
Hello Machinta.
Machinta, what's going on? What are you doing here? How are you guys doing tonight? How's it going? The Phoenix thing is here a lot. You're lurking? Okay, that's totally okay. And I will say this to everybody. This is not going to be for everybody. This is a game that is very heavy in subject matter. So, you know, if it's something that, you know, what's the tag on the big Phoenix painting? This one? Let's take a look again. Phoenix, The Beginning of the End by Digby Davidson. Interesting. And one thing I do know about being in, when you're dealing with hospitals like this, you're going to go through moments like that where it is very confusing. It is very confusing about who's treating your patient, who's treating the person you're there for, who's taking care of them when your main doctor isn't here. It is very confusing. And it can be very scary. Feels very alien. Okay, so we're about to go on break for an ad break here in a little bit. I'm going to take a break myself when that happens, and then we will come back and do this. This is very story oriented, so I'm going to actually pause the stream when that happens just to kind of keep in line with what's happening here. But they are making this feel very alien, very like observed, very otherworldly. It's definitely a feeling, for sure. Especially if you're a child. Could you imagine being in something like this, like an MRI image? Because this is, I don't know if this is this is a CAT scan or is it MRI? I think this is a CAT scan. So, God, that would be so foreign. Yeah, this is a CAT scan. This would, as even like a parent, been there, done that a few times. That's fair. Yeah, these machines, they feel so alien. They feel so massive. They feel so out of place. Especially if you're a child, I imagine. Most of them, I will say, are not done in observatory halls, but it can probably feel that way. Depending on like how many doctors want to see what's going on, or like the situation, or if you're just a child and everything feels super massive. It feels like the child has aged a little bit, though. Been there, done that a few times. Oh, okay, what's this?
Hey, it's you again.
It is me again.
I love you.
Oh.
My friend. This is my favorite game. Do you want to see? Watch how I started. You touch it right here, then the big lion comes. You know a scary lion? It's so loud. I can roar. That's
Oh
why I
my,
can't.
there is an incoming break for
Hear me
adverts in 2
roar.
minutes.
Why? Don't be afraid.
Oh.
I want to cover your ears.
This has got to be like a coping, like how they deal with being in this situation as much as they are. Like that's how they're manifesting being in a CAT scan. This is probably like the way they like get through it. This is like the story they're telling themselves, why it's so loud.
Tears is my favorite.
Oh, that's fascinating. I guess we've all done this when it comes to like medical treatments. We've probably created a fantasy for ourselves to like kind of get through it. Oh, interesting. Okay. Like a dog, a lion. That's got to be like a giraffe or something. Figured as much. Being in a coma to keep yourself pretty much alive, you have to be a lucid dream. And this is a tad different from a normal dream. I would imagine so. Okay, so we're about to go on break. I'm going to pause here. I don't know if I can like... Yeah, I could do that. All right, we're going to go on break. I'll be back here in a minute. I'll see you guys in a few. This is fascinating. I really am enjoying this. I really think it's really interesting to kind of go through like this kind of concept. So stick with me, guys. I know it's very heavy, but I think this has value, and I think this is a good thing to like kind of go through. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Could you bare your teeth like so? Say roar. Oh my, guys. Oh my, this is very this is pretty sus. That's very sus right there. No, I'm not blind. This guy wants me to bare my teeth and say roar. This guy,
I can't control my horny level.
He can't do it. He can't possibly do it. This is weird. This is very strange. All right, let's see. All right, I'm gonna let him have the top. I guess that makes me the bottom, but that's not, you can't read into that, okay? We can't read too much into that. Don't read into that. I'm watching you read into that. So if any of you try and read into that, it's wrong and you're wrong for thinking it. And I'm watching you. How was the Fortnites? What the fuck was that? What the fuck is that? No, 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 no. Hello? Huh? Oh. Okay. Was that you making all that noise? Were you the one doing? Hello, Thanos. How's it going? Were you the one?
Yeah. The one with the. Yeah. Press it.
Okay, press it. Oh my god.
Balls of the brass. Oh no.
What the hell? No. I have no words for the size of that brass balls right there. You tell him he's a god and it breaks his little brain. Oh no. Atreus. What? What? Where'd he go? Oh, whoa.
Gecko, what's with the D? Face? Did someone steal your tail, or are you just devastated that Freakazoid might not win against Deadpool in a fight?
I didn't need to do that.
Well, you know what you could do, Leem? You could just make the pie crust, and that way, depending on which one he needs, then he can just
good
grab
point.
it and go. Gale.
You guys don't trust me to handle the meat, huh? I understand.
After seeing how you handle the nuts.
Oh my god. Okay, we are back. We are back, everybody. So let's get back to this and see where this goes. This is very heavy stuff, so I just want to put out there again for everybody watching. This is a very heavy material. If you're not something you're into, please be careful. But I encourage it because I think it's a beautiful story that is difficult, but has a lot of human elements that are good to chronicle in some way, shape, or form. I think it's a lot of benefit to it. I think it's a story that should be told, and I'm so glad it exists. So let's continue on and do our thing. All right, here we go. What is that music change? What is that? Oh.
This terrible routine. Watching you, waiting for you to wake, hoping you will never remember these days of illness and treatment. One day, I'll bring you here, show you your tiny handprints on the wall, and you'll be annoyed that we all think of you as some big miracle. Cancer will be such a small part of all you could grow to be. You will tire of hearing about it. You won't want to see the cards and notes I saved. And I won't mind at all. I'll hold the memories of this hard day. You just leave it behind.
Bradley Stewart. Oh no. Why are those there? Hugs to all my UHC kids. UIHC kids and families. Greg Rice. To everyone who's ever died of cancer, especially my father and grandmother, rest in peace, Hank, Marcia, and all the rest of you beautiful, beautiful people. I hope that, whatever's become of you, you are presently better off than you were at the end of your life. We miss you. Oof. To my hero, Henry M. Oh, they're gone. Mathis Duwai. 10 years old. Not even. Jason Javier Sanchez. 1980 to 2008. Forever in our hearts. Why do it if it's not fun? In memory, Rick Miller. Why not? Have faith like children and love like Christ. I don't know about that one, but you know, whatever helps you get through. If every hour wounds, let us sit a minute. Or let us sit a minute. Oh. Interesting. In loving memory of Maria and Emil Orzowski. Love you, Papa. Even now, you still make me laugh. I miss you, Rachel. Take my tears, love. They will carry you home. I still love you. Girl from Mars. That probably means something to that person. Very deeply. We belong to each other. Oh, there's one here. Elsie, we love you dearly and miss you daily. See you soon. But have no fear. Our story's just begun. Did I get this one? I'm not sure if I did. You're stronger than you know. Love will keep you strong. So many cards. I mean, I know what it's like implying. I get it. Oh, God. To say we miss you is an understatement. Love you, Mom. DLB. I shall cover you with my hand until I have passed. Nada en el mundo me importa más el que mi hijo, Juan V. I guess I could. I'm pretty sure that means never, never on the earth, or nothing on the earth is nothing on the earth is important to me than my son. I think that's what that means. In memory of Devana and Jason. Oh, I already did that one. I don't know if I can. There we go. Our hero, Orion Strong. Not even cancer could hold you back. Wish you could see me now, Mom. Patrick Miller. For Nils, life is a winking light in the darkness. Some of these are from others who loved, ones are some from other supporters when it was on Kickstarter. Oh, that's cool. I like that concept. T-Boo, you are the best. Love we you, or Wu Yi. Steve Morietti, Cosmic Mariner, Destination Unknown. In the end, it's the love in your years. You are not alone, Anne. To Moritz, our sun, moon, and stars, Ian W. I love you, Joel. My wee little warrior. With love, Phil. So it goes. So it does. Rest easy, Lei Ai. Your children stand strong. For all our departed, we love you. We miss you. Dragons live forever, but not as so little boys, in memory of Douglas Anderson. Huh. It seems rather poignant. I don't know that one. Sovsit lil pigay. Huh. I don't know that language. Monica F. Winters. Forever touched all who knew her. Mom, I wish you'd know me now. I think it was this one. Nope, not that one. Was it this one? Might have been one of these. Could have been this one. Yeah. So Vzit Lilie Bige. I don't know that one. In loving memory of my father, Michael V. Shaw Sr. Patrick, go back and give me a moment. Well, let me get through some of these. Patrick, you drank out all of the glasses. I miss you. It was that one. There we go. I mean, we don't necessarily need to know all of them. I could look it up myself, but yeah, I feel like... I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I don't know if it's necessary. I think I can go in here. In time, we grow. I already did that one. Shoot. Okay, I'm very clearly picking the other one. Okay. Bill Lawson, 27. October 1943. Oh, October 27th, 1943 to December 8th of 2002. Rest in peace, Dad. Okay, it's kind of hard. Maybe I need to move perspectives because I feel like I'm not able to pick these ones very well. Okay, there we go. Griffin Shaw, our son, our inspiration, our hero. In loving memory, Carmel Sharkey, we miss you. Stay strong and never stop believing. This is not the end, my love. Like the rain, this pain will pass. Sleep well, little girl, in Danish. Oh, okay. Very cool. Thank you. No he olvido a Amanica Metrodona del Valle. Okay, so there is no forgetting Monica. I don't know what there is no forgetting Monica. I don't know what Matradona means. I would have to look that one up. So let me see if I can look that up really quick. There is no forgetting Monica. What does that mean? It seems like a place. I think it's more of a place than it is like a... That is not what I asked. Google, Jesus Christ. Okay, so it's from the valley. I don't know what that means. It must be a family name. It's a surname. Okay, so it's somebody's surname. Okay, so there is no forgetting Monica. Got it. Okay, so that's basically what it's saying is, and then it's from like Mataladana de Valle is a surname, not really a meaning. Got it. Okay. I do know a little Spanish. Like I've been like learning it several years, and I've forgotten a lot of it, but I can get through some of it. So I can definitely do a little bit of Spanish for sure if that comes up. Get in December 27th, 2014. In memory of Carlos Ybarra, uncle and friend. We have now Maureen and Rory. December 27th, 2014. I think that's what it said, right? Isn't that what it said? Oh, December 24th. Sorry. That would have been Christmas Eve. That's worse. Oof. We have now. I know, that makes it worse. Oh, I missed one. Sometimes it's like kind of hard to tell what you're pointing at here. Let me see if I get, there we go. Plan to live, except you could die. Plan to die, but except you could live. Dad, you are always on my mind. Miss you so much, Rocks. Not the end. Let's stay with it. In honor of Josiah and his many St. Jude friends. Oh, okay, okay. So this is like the St. Jude Children's Hospital. Got it. Matt, we miss you every day.
Hello, a dog toy.
Just stopping by to say, hope the stream is great. Gotta cook, so lurk. No worries, no dog toy. That's fine. I lost my father a massive heart attack on December 7th, 2014. Oh, wow. That's harsh. Where I find solace in a lot of these things is, I talked about this actually, oddly enough, I talked about this a little bit in the God of War stream of all things. And like the final moments of God of War. Sorry, hold on. Even after all these years, it's hard to like relive a lot of feelings like this, right? Like a lot of people have lost a lot of things. We've all seen people, well, not everybody, but like in most cases in your life, you will see people that you very much care about come and go. Find a place inside where there's joy, and joy will burn out the pain. People will leave an impact on your life. Love to our little healthy man, Jackson D. Spencer, and David Timothy Long Strong. My mother lives with severe dementia. We know it won't be long, but the solace we have is that we will be together again. Yeah. So I talked a little bit about it in my God of War stream, and you know, it's been a long time now, but I lost my mother quite a while ago now. She didn't die of like cancer or anything like that. The reality of it is that she died. No, it's okay. I've had a long time to process this. And even though it can bring up strong emotions in you, I have had a long time to like really process a lot of this stuff. But she died. Okay. My mom took her own life. Antonio Martinelli, your grandson is terribly sorry and misses you so much. For my brother Kyle. And she took her own life, after a battle with mental illness, of which she had a very, very bad case of issues that, a lot of people deal with. She was bipolar. She had a lot of issues with that. And it's so hard to understand what that's like as anybody. And I can't even like pretend to understand it. Dale the Redden, a name that means a lot to me. A loving wife, a mother, my grandmother, and cancer survivor. Hardly a woman of grace, but a person of great strength. I'm glad you continue your fight. Should it ever arise again. I love you, Grandma. And I think one of the things I've always, you're very correct in understanding what it's like. Well, in not understanding what it's like, I don't. And I would never pretend to understand what that's like. Because we all kind of live in our own realities. We all kind of live in our own minds. And it's really hard to understand when somebody lives in a concept that we can't. We can't understand that perspective. Joshua, stay strong, little man. Mommy and Daddy love you. It's a different perspective. It's a different worldview. It's a different acceptance. No one should because there's no one will. Well, there's no real definition. I agree with that. And it's going to be different depending on who they are. Through you find freedom, an eternal sleep. At your passing of the angels shall weep. All our hearts shall cry with despair. We hope you rest in peace, Claire. But even though I don't understand it, the way I've kind of always looked at it in life is that disease is a thing, right? Like we talk about cancer, we talk about any sort of disease or like sickness. And we talk about it in like a physical way. We never really think about it from like how mental illness is very similar in that regard. Mental illness is is probably more insidious that people can't see it from like a physical standpoint. They can't look at you and say, I know that you have this. My sister was the only one who was there and the only one who cared. Yeah. I mean, I could go into a lot of stories around that. And how it all went down. My parents had no clue, and we didn't want them to know. I'll tell you this. I don't know your situation with your parents. So I can't really comment on that. But if they are people who care about you, then I think they should know. But regardless of that, my now ex beat our child to death while I was at work. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. For Lucky Lou, stay strong and keep fighting. But mental illness does that. It's insidious in that, people do not fully understand what it is. They can't see it. And they can't really relate to it because it's foreign. Because if I have a cold, you can understand what a cold is. If I say to you, I have a cough, I have a sneeze, I'm sniffly, I'm stuffed up, people can understand that. If I say to you I have another disease that involves pain, it's very easy to understand what pain could be. When it comes to mental illness, that's different. That comes in different forms because we're not able to put that into a physical standpoint, and to say that pain comes from a very different place because it is not physically manifested. But in the end, it has the same effect. And that's how I've kind of gone with my mom, where I've said consistently that she died and she took her own life, but in the end, it was because of an illness. She took her own life because of an illness that she had. And it was unfortunately in her case, that was the end result of that illness. And for some, it won't be that way. For others, it could be that way. For some, it could be way worse. For some, it could be not as bad. But that's what it is. It's still an illness. Departure, Godspeed, bless his heart. Good Lord. I've lost count how many times I've questioned if I was the cause or if I was involved. The past 10 years, I have several friends take their lives for different reasons. I mean, you're not. It's not because of you. I've asked myself that question so many times in my life. No one will ever know, but it's not, though. Here's the thing. I've asked myself that question so many times. Because here's what I'll tell you. My mom, she took her life on Mother's Day. And part of the reason she did that is because me and her had a fight the very day before, because I had to go pick her up from the police station because she had an episode in front of a bunch of people. And I, for my sake, on that very same day, said, I need to set boundaries. And this is when I was much younger. I was college student. I didn't really have my life together. I was still trying to get through a lot of things. And I said, I need boundaries. And you know what? I was right to do that. I was absolutely right to set boundaries in my life. But that's not how she saw it. And so she took an action. And I wasn't there when she did it, obviously. But I could very much imagine that incident took a toll and maybe played a part in it. But at the end of the day, I didn't do that. I didn't make her do that. And I know this because I know the person she was, and I know the person she is, and I know the person, and here's the thing, I've talked to a lot of her my family, friends, and like my dad and all these people, I know who she was from their perspective. And I could tell you, like, the person that they knew, that's not who they would have been. The important thing is not that dragons exist, but they can be beaten. And so when somebody does or acts out in some way like that, it's generally not as simple as, could I have done something? Could I have changed the outcome? Because here's the thing, like, I could have treated that situation very differently, and maybe it wouldn't have happened that day. But that doesn't mean it wouldn't have happened. So I would never blame yourself for something of that nature. Again, it goes back to what I was saying.
Hello, Acid Games Streams.
You're gonna lurk. This game's gonna make me cry. I agree with you. It definitely is gonna do that. I would never blame yourself for those situations. I would never look at it and say, I should have done this or I should have done that. Maybe you could have. Maybe you could have done that. Maybe this could have changed, or that could have changed, or maybe I could have taken this action. May you find peace, strength, and rest, Kyle. Maybe you could have done any number of things. You could have changed any number of things, but you didn't, and you can't. What happened, happened. And if these things didn't happen the way they did, they probably would have happened another way. Things happen, and people are in the situations they're in. I read to stay close to you. I miss you, Dad. Love, Madison. You're not at fault for the actions that others take, regardless of why they happened. You're not at fault for that. But you can learn from it, and you can take that perspective into how you look at other people and situations down the road. Like, I will say this. One thing I've learned in my life because of this, in the dark of night, I wish for you milk, bread, breath, and health. I can now look at other people and their situations, and even if I fundamentally don't agree with them or I hate them, in some cases I have, I can still empathize with them. And I think that's very important. So don't ever forget that, like, it's not your fault that anything like that happens. Like, bad things happen, and like, there's endless possibilities and endless strings you could tug at. You can continuously look back and tug at these threads. But that's what they are. They're just threads. And they're not going to change anything about what happened. Sonja Anna Sandforth, I love you. Always and forever. We can continue to, like, always look back and say, what if I had pulled this thread? What if I had pulled that one? Nancy, you will eternally embody compassion to me. But you know what pulling that thread is never going to do? John, miss you every day. Lovely. Pulling on a thread to see what could have happened. What action could I have taken that was different than the one that I took? You know what it'll never do? It's never going to put that thing back together. And that's okay. Sometimes things fall apart. Sometimes things end. Sometimes it's time. Sometimes you pull that thread, and that shirt that you loved for so long, that shirt, it's gone. It's time to get a new one, guys. It's okay. For Scott and the worlds we have never built. It's not to say that the father that cried out, I believe, help, my unbelief. It's not to say that those threads will stop hurting, that when you pull on those threads or when you think about it, it's not to say that they'll never stop hurting, because they won't. You feel that pain because that thing, that person, that time, that event, it means something to you. It meant something to you. But the only reason that it feels so bad is because it did. Because those things can feel that way to you. And there is something to that. Chloe, Benji, and our special ones love mommy and daddy. Never forget that the reason why things hurt the way they do. A.G. DiCarlo, craftsman and father. Always remember, the reason things hurt the way they do is because they meant so much. And there was a lot of good memories, a lot of joy, a lot of things that make you feel. In memory of Boyce and Madeline, Hollow Peter, beloved parents and grandparents. It's never wrong, Team KLB. It's never wrong to feel. It's okay to feel. There's nothing more resilient than the human heart. And it's okay to let ourselves feel. TLS, 2009, or December 6, 2009. Mom, Dad, red, purple, blue flower. Purple flower, got it. And I think that's okay. On 1/14, you passed away from leukemia. I missed you, Dad. Oh. Aileen, walking and singing in the Garden of Dreams. Gerald Slack was a loved father and grandfather who lost to that dragon cancer. Ooh. To be alive, love life and all that is in it, all those in it. I love and miss you, Grandma, and Grandpa Amat and Grandpa Harstad. This is a part of history now. It really is. Whether it's history that the world will remember or just you will remember. The important thing is that you remember it. To those still fighting, stay strong. In memory of Eugene Fate. David, thank you for paving a way for a dignified approach to illness. In love and admiration of Joe Nebecker, you rock. I miss you, my friend, John. May God bless you, August Theodore. My great admiration and respect to John Bain, aka Total Biscuit, for standing for honesty and integrity in the industry he loved and valiantly fighting cancer. To Braden and Beckham, my whole heart, love, Daddy. In memory of Jordan breeding. Fly to the moon. Fly me to the moon. You know, there was a game. Oh my God, there was a game called that. And it was such a beautifully, like, well-told story as well. It was like an RPG Maker game called Fly Me to the Moon. I think it was a game. I really love that game. If you haven't played it, I would look it up on Steam. It is out there for it. And I think there's one I've been playing. I played a while ago called Imposter Factory by the same person. And they make such beautiful games. But again, this comes down to, like, I didn't mean to pick that one up again. That's not what I was trying to do. Am I able to? There we go. Oh, alrighty. Nope. Okay, there we go. In honor of Samuel Cox, I will hold you in my heart forever. You are loved. Yeah, you are. Viola Ake Eke Mama Uch Papa Escar Ere. I don't know what that is again, but that's fine. Everyone experiences loss, no matter where they're from. Go. Get on with your badass self, Kevin Jones. I knew it, Kevin Jones. That's weird. Happiness comes from loving what you do. I don't know about that. It can be. It definitely can be. But it doesn't have to be. In memory of Linda H. Wells, my best friend. To the long journey is never walked alone. Even if it feels like it sometimes. R.I.P. Mom, Nellie Teven. Love Rich Carr and G Kids. The great grandkids, I am assuming. I didn't mean to go that far. Our little Hedwig. We love, miss it, and miss you every day. I don't know why, but I feel like it's really important to read all of these. Bob, you were a great man. You live on in us. Det neverger meg den, sliken eg tinger alivet. Hope I said that even remotely close to how it's supposed to be said. I have no idea. And Pasai Kanglu. Zadie Ben, we miss you and love you. Linda Jose Turner, always loving, always loved. Fight, win. Gabriela, Arturo, Natalia, Rafa in Spain. Oh, that's nice. Ami Sonderman's 2014 journey, cancer-free by grace. Not every story ends in tragedy, I suppose. Love you, miss you, now and always. To CHW, thank you for all your miracles. PKM and ELM. In loving memory of Paul and Galen Stevens. In loving memory of Alan Robertson, 1954 to 2006. All our love from Kai, Mal, and Nana. Amanda, we love and miss you. We'll see you again. Christopher Logan, loving father, always remembered. And he'll look forward to seeing you again in heaven, Dashin. I'm sorry, guys. It's not good. Ooh. The tension is so palpable here.
Farmer Bill makes the pigs bacon for breakfast. Farmer Bill plays fetch with the pigs. Farmer Bill enjoys a mud bath with the pigs. Farmer Bill scratches the pig's chinny chin chin.
But look at them, they just can't.
Farmer Bill gives the pigs piggyback rides.
No words.
Those mischievous pigs are napping on Farmer Bill's couch. The pigs wash the dishes after supper. Farmer Bill separates the sheeps from the goats. Sheep go to heaven. Goats go to town.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What?
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh.
It's not good. I'm sorry, guys. It's not good.
Oh no. Is that all I can do?
I'm sorry, guys. It's not good.
Oh my god. And you know what? This is... God, this is so real to life because, like, this is the moment. Not anything else past that, but, like, that phrase would play back in your mind time and time again. Over and over again. Oh. Oh.
And there it is. They get it now.
They've always been clear.
Sometimes I wish we could just leave them waiting a few more minutes, because once they get this news, their life never goes back to how it was before.
Well, it's in the frontal cortex.
Those were their last normal minutes,
point, but unfortunately,
and they didn't
science
even
is
know
really
it.
important.
I'm glad he's so good at this. He takes the losses so personally. Joel's looking good. He's been making progress, his weight is up. It's just hard to believe that we only made it halfway through chemotherapy. It was rough at first, but I really started to think that he was gonna make it.
Any recurrence means the chemotherapy has failed. This is a tragedy.
Oh my god. Because of course it did.
I'll nod my head.
With an ATR
Yeah, whenever I ask sciencey questions, I nod my head.
It is fatal.
Digesting every Latin word, hoping it will stick to my ribs, become part of me.
We've already thrown all
That if I ask enough questions, that maybe I can get my brains around this cancer,
that we know it's resistant to.
and I can choke it to death. I love asking good questions. It impresses them. They'll be impressed with the way we handle all of this. Such good, thoughtful parents that ask such good questions.
No, it doesn't
So there just
matter.
aren't any treatment options that are curative.
God, that's such a coping mechanism. Oh God, that's so painful. Because that's what that is. It's such a coping thing. Because you can't.
I guess I'm going to cry after all because they love us. And they love Joel, and
We're very good at managing the pain and masking symptoms at the end of life.
God. That's so, like, how do you deal with something like this? You can't possibly. There's no good way to handle this.
I said fatal.
Given you a lot to think about
I
already
said
today.
not curative.
Oh no.
Have I said the word death yet?
No.
I can tell they understand though. A whole new vocabulary. All the rules are different now. I think it's really sinking in. Oh, she's crying. We should wrap this up soon. All the details can wait. Radiation oncologist to decide whether we could do some radiation or just chemotherapy.
What would the radiation do?
Well, the radiation could probably kill the tumor we see now, which would prevent it from causing any symptoms. But it would not keep more tumors from developing, because we know if it spread here, it has spread other places too.
That's got to be, as a doctor, that has to be a thought that goes through your head. I can't even imagine how, like, that would be.
Oh my!
Because, like,
there is an incoming break for adverts in 2
imagine you're a
minutes.
doctor. Oh my god. Oh my god. And it's like flooding. Imagine you're a doctor and that's like your thought process, because you have to do that. You have to think that way. Because you have to know that, like, you've done this.
So,
how many times?
radiation would buy us some time.
No, nothing will really buy us any time at this point. It just can make the time you have left more comfortable. So, we'll schedule you to come back in Monday, and we'll have some options for you to consider. We're so sorry.
It's just about making it more comfortable. There's nothing left to do.
I hate this part of the job.
I can imagine.
Impotent confession of failure. Parents that are still trying desperately to hold on to hope for a breakthrough. They're not wrong. We'll find something. We'll get better. But not in time to help Joel. I wish they wouldn't thank us for bad news.
They've always been clear. Joel's had a recurrence of his tumor.
Wow.
Where is it? How big is it? Well, it's in the funnel filter.
Okay. We're about to go to another ad break here. I'm going to pause it here in a bit so that we don't miss anything. This is an incredible bout of storytelling, because you're, like, getting into people's heads, and it's so true. Every part about it is so powerful and so poignant. I think I'm going to do it now. Hold on. I got to pause it now because, like, we're about to go to break. So I'm going to go to ad break, and then we'll come back to this. There's so much here to talk about. So much here to talk about. So we'll be back here very shortly. I'll see you guys in a minute. Do something! Shoot your loads! Be more horny is what I'm saying. I'm saying these penises need to be more horny. They need to be way more horny than they're being. That is the only way I succeed. Is if they would just be more horny. All right? Can we agree? Let's go. Oh, there's a butt. Not. I probably shouldn't be looking at that. That's a lot. There's something dangling there, and we cannot show that on stream. we cannot show that on stream, guys. So hold on, let me go look around the room real quick. You can't see nothing. I'm just admiring this guy's backside, guys. It's pretty nice. You take care of yourself, sir. I appreciate that. That guy takes care of himself. So again, what in the fuck are you doing here?
You had a way around the Black Breath all along.
The mountain god of war is so big, it makes Kratos look like a small little lemur in comparison. It's like trying to measure the size of mine. Well, let's just say it's massive. Wings.
Improved the design of the Jotnar traps and built workarounds to boot. Why you think it's so devious?
I have no words for that, Theo. I have no words for that. Oh, there he is. Okay, I gotta go. I see him right there. I gotta go.
He almost ran right into the tree, man. No, he sees him. He sees him. Get ready to shut the door. Shut the door.
I got it. But he's right there. Oh, no. Holy shit.
Oh, we gotta go.
Dude. Oh, my.
Oh. They took out Instagram. YouTube. You put on quite the show. Please grant us with the honor of hearing our names. I'm not a ghost. I'm no gladiator. And I'm no mushroom farmer either. My name is Verm, and I am the mouse who will slay the yellow god. And I'm Bruce. I just found Akira in the admin. So.
Okay, so here's something that I want to put plain out there for everybody. It's not me, and it's not Milo, because Milo and I were alone together so many times. We could have killed each other, and we didn't.
And also, it's not Nathan, because I saw him scan.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Oh. Ah! Fuck that guy. Seriously though. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy so hard. Oh my god. Or even better, it would be like Fortame on his deathbed. You know, we've lived a long life, but he goes first because, you know, I'm the king, so I have better healthcare than he does. And you know, he's on his deathbed, and you know, he's looking at me and he's like, you know, I couldn't imagine my life without you. It's been a great long ride, and you've been the love of my life, and I'm so grateful that you were in my life, and you know, I will die happy as a result. And I will look at him deep into his eyes, and I will smile softly, and I'll hold his hands. I'll put one hand between both of mine in a very loving and cherishing way, and then I will say, I threw that race on the gray tree. And then he dies, and that's the last words I ever say to him.
Around me, and I do not see like anything that says like, hey, here's the entrance to me.
Okay, we are back. We are back, everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna get back into the game. What I want to say really quick before I get into it, though, is that this game. So, like, what I was talking about earlier is like with doctors. It is such a hard. I can't even imagine what that would be like, because like if you're a doctor, you're dealing with this kind of thing probably more, like at least more regularly than the people you're dealing with have to deal with that. I don't know how you, as a doctor, would be able to separate yourself from this, because you have to some degree to keep yourself going. You would have to. I don't know how you do it. But then there's also like the idea of like what this doctor's going through. Like he was going through like the poignancy of like discussing what words he used, how clear he's being about it. That's so difficult. Because you have to like put that list in your head and make sure that you know that you've made that point clear. Like if someone's going to die, you as a doctor have to be able to put that in front of people and make it very clear, because if you give them hope where there is none, that's way fucking worse. That's got to be such a difficult thing to do. All right. Anyway, that's what I want to say about that, but I'm going to go back into it. Oh. But like everybody's thoughts in this moment are like, that's what the flood is. It's like everybody's thoughts are flooding this, except for poor God, for the child, because they don't know exactly what's happened. They're so young, they don't even understand. Like, I'm sure they don't even quite they probably realize something's wrong. They also have been like going through it. They probably have felt the pain and the anguish and the devastation of this disease. But like, maybe they don't really quite understand like the permanence of the mortality of it. And as a child, that's really hard to do. Ugh. Because you just don't, that's not something you would do as a child. You would never like really look at like, I don't know, that's so difficult to understand. Again, these black spiny balls really does take me back to Before Your Eyes. And I almost think like the visual style is very similar too. I wonder if is it the same company who made this? Or like did the same developers make that than this? I don't know. I don't think so, but like, ooh.
Things stirring around in my spirit that I have to write to settle myself and find God's wisdom in the midst of chaos. I'm scared I won't be strong enough to face the things we might have to face in the coming weeks and months. But then I remember how much grace God gave us to walk out everything we've already faced. I've never felt completely overwhelmed, and I've never felt alone. So no matter what comes next, and I truly cannot even begin to guess how this will go, I know we will be carried. I want to shout out, look what God is about to do. Watch how he delivers Joel. And at the same time, I want to roll up in a silent ball and wait it out with fear and trembling, so aware of all my doubt, but yet convinced that my doubt is insignificant compared to God's faithfulness.
I understand. I understand so deeply why people would want to cling to that feeling. So I'm not going to criticize that. There's a part of me that would, there's a very natural part of me that I wonder if they're going to go into that. I'm almost curious if they will. if they'll go into the concept of the opposite of that, where you start to question this idea of God's wisdom, God's plan, and you say, why? Why on a place, on a planet, on a world, where an all-powerful, all-knowing, all-benevolent God exists? Because the opposite of that argument would be, the other side of the argument would be, why would a benevolent, all-powerful, all-good God allow this to happen? What point is he trying to make that makes him all good still? Why would he put a child, an innocent being, through this type of punishment? And what lesson does that teach us? That's the obvious, like the opposite answer. I wonder if they're going to explore that.
Guys, are you ready for bed?
Joel, lay down. Okay. Should we do a song?
Sure.
Okay, big boys, why don't you come in here and we'll sing the littles a lullaby. I'm tired. No, it's bedtime. Ugh, okay. Oh, Elijah, lay down.
Babe, did you even check in his mouth?
Joel, no.
Joel has chicken stuffed in his cheeks from dinner.
Get it out, that is so disgusting.
Been in there for the last 2 hours. Okay, hold on, I'm trying. Joel, ouch! Stop.
Did he just bite you?
Yeah, I think he like just put too much in his mouth.
I had been in this room with my father before, during the brief window where he wasn't dying but was instead getting better. That wasn't the man I saw this time. I saw the other one, the one who cried out and needed holding, the one who fell asleep for 20 seconds and then woke up a different person each time. There was a clear part right in the middle of it, a minute or so, where everything was calm before his tour of hell resumed. That was goodbye, even if no one said it. I don't think I will ever get better after having seen that.
No.
I think this is the kind of knowing that stays with you. I can reach into my pocket now and find it there.
No. There's no getting better from that. There's no, like... That's the thing, is like... Healing is... People always make this claim that, like, healing is forgetting, or healing is, like, moving on. But we don't ever truly do that, do we? We don't ever truly do that. We never fully forget. We never fully move on. But it's about learning to live with the things that happen. And knowing it's always going to be there. But how do we move with that? How do we keep going forward with all of that pulling down at our feet at all times?
I don't actually know. That's kind of why we're packing up everything, is because if the trial works really well, then maybe we'll stay in California for a really long time. Like, as long as it keeps helping Joel, then we want to stay and do the best we can for him and stay there where he's getting help. But if the medicine starts to not work, as soon as it's not helping him, I promise we'll come back home.
Are we going to Disneyland?
Yeah, of course. What do you think, Taylor? You okay with leaving for so long?
I'm kind of excited, but I'm kind of not. I mean, I think it'll be fun, but I just don't like missing school.
Oh, yeah?
You're the only 8-year-old to ever... That's amazing.
I hate to miss school, huh? But, like, why?
Well, I just hate having all that homework that I have to do.
Oh, you hate catching up.
This is a kid that's, I mean, he's lived a lot. By this, I'm getting the impression that he lived a lot longer than people may have thought. Because, like,
how many kids get to go?
This is not a...
Go on an adventure?
infant anymore. This is a child that's lived somewhat of his life because he can communicate fairly well and is formulating concepts like missing school or homework and things like that. That's awareness. That is something that doesn't happen for a while.
In a prison, and I promise not to leave you in the prison.
Alcatraz.
Hopefully we can get out of that. Cool.
And like, I will say this. This kind of brings up like a weird concept, like a weird tangent. I know it's like really easy to look at like Disney and like be very upset with a lot of the decisions and things they make, and like understand that they are a very large corporation these days. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard
but like,
to see Joel, you know, like needing so much help.
Oh, no, it's a brother.
For me, sometimes I'm kind of excited and sometimes I'm kind of sad. And
Oh, I get it now. Okay, so they have a brother.
feel all of that too, because I feel all of those things.
And this is the brother. Okay, so what I was saying is like we get to go to Disneyland and that kind of thing. I don't know if people like how many people I talk to who've been to places like Disneyland or Disney World, or like can truly like contextualize the magic of that kind of place. Like, could you imagine like one of the things that like Disneyland or Disney World does that is very unique to those places compared to like other theme parks? And this is like really trivial when I think about it, but like those places do this thing, and Disneyland did this probably before any other place, where they tried to make waiting in line, and this is amazing to me. They tried to make waiting in line for rides an interesting event in and of itself. Like, imagine, like, if you've ever been to Disneyland and you've been to like the Indiana Jones ride, just picture that in your head, where you're waiting in line for a pretty exorbitant amount of time in most cases. But like, they made it so interesting that the wait isn't quite as bad as you would imagine, only because it is so fascinating. And they did this consistently throughout most of the park. Like, if you imagine like Space Mountain or any of them, now that I think about it, they tried to make a spectacle out of lines. There's like a magic to waiting in line that if I go to like a Six Flags, that's not there. You're not going to get that. You're just waiting in like a line where there's like a chain and there's like fencing and shit like that. It's not the same. So like a kid, this is a magical place because even if you're a parent and you're more like functionally aware of time and like how long that stuff takes, when you're a kid, you're fascinated by every little thing around you. And that wait in line and that like making magic out of waiting in line is very relevant. And I think that's so amazing. And I think that people like misunderstand like what they were trying to do. This is not trying to excuse any of like Disney's like bad behavior or things they've done recently. I'm not trying to say that. But I am saying that like there is something to it, guys. Like there's something magical about what Disney tried to do and Disney has tried to do for a very long time. There is something to that. And we should never lose sight of the fact that like there was a thought process there, and we should never say that like there isn't something we can capture or learn from that. Regardless of how it is now and how bad they are now and like the business practice they have today, a lot of those things are things that we should learn from and we should apply to future things. We should never lose sight of those things. Never.
We've been through so much already. This is a new degree of tragedy, but it's not so much different from the struggle we've already been living. We pressed into God. We pressed into faith. We fought until we found peace. We stood in peace when our flesh wanted to strive more. We stood in peace when it started to feel like laziness or foolishness or both. We waited for God to direct us specifically in prayer because all the directions we had initiated had not panned out. We prayed for no nausea because that's what we felt in our spirits we were supposed to pray, even though we'd prayed it countless times before while Joel continued to vomit. We saw one small miracle and then another. We waited to pray specific things until we were given specific direction, and we saw bigger miracles. And yet, if you asked either of us if we were doing enough, trying hard enough,
No.
we would say no.
No, of course you wouldn't. But that's the problem. You're waiting for miracles from an outside source. You're doing everything you can, but sometimes that's not enough. Because it's out of your control. There's so many things out of your control. It's not the same thing. That's the problem with, like, the idea of, like, religious... I have a problem with that because, like, I understand the desperation. I can understand the thought process of, like, being so desperate that you're like, nothing's working, and the doctor just told us that our child is going to die. And so the only thing we have left to turn to, the only thing left is an outside source and outside faith. Because what else do we have? What else can we rely on? There is a beauty to that. There is something to that. You could never sit there and say that, like, I can fault people for feeling this way about desperation, to feel this way about something you love so much that you cannot possibly consider letting it go. And the only thing left, the only thing out there that you can turn to is prayer, is reaching out to some unknown deity, to some unknown powerful thing. It's very real, it's very palpable. I don't fault them in that. I don't fault them in that. Because how can you? How can you fault them in that? The problem is that we've been so conditioned in our lives to feel that that's a real thing. I don't know if it helps or hurts them. I don't know. That's a very real and very difficult question to answer. I don't know how you reconcile that shit. I don't know. I have no idea.
I remember the day I was diagnosed. I remember the hallucinations from the high fever of 5-year-old's nightmares. I remember my mother silently weeping in the doctor's office. I remember friends and family gathered around my hospital bed in prayer.
Hello, Fanny's 93.
Ambulance ride to St. Jude where they could better care for me. I remember the 2.5 years of weekly chemo treatments, the numerous lumbar punctures and bone marrow aspirates. I remember Doctors Bell, Dahl, and Kalwinski, nurses Jean, Judy, and Dale, Miss Chris in social work, Darlene in travel, all part of the team that cared for me. I am a walking memorial to their successes. I remember the other patients I'd see each time I went to the hospital for chemo. I remember when some stopped coming. I knew what that meant. I remember the years of summer camp for children with cancer, children like me. I remember their laughter and the midnight talks of fears and joys, normal kid stuff. Some less so. I remember when some stopped coming. I knew what that meant. But I remember them. I am, and other survivors are, memorials to those who lost their fights.
this long day draws to a close, I am tired, but not sleepy. My face is puffy from crying. I have a dry throat and dry hands, a slight headache, and a desire to write down absolutely everything. I want to describe the feeling of being entirely empty and entirely resolute. I want to explore how I can be deeply sad and incredibly hopeful at the same time. I want to talk about holding Joel's hand, walking down the hall wanting to soak in the moment, to memorize the feeling of having his hand and mine, to let it matter, and then hating that my thoughts swing to, because what if I can't hold his hand one day?
But that's natural. You can never stop that.
Wishing I could just appreciate each
because
second of Joel without
you know
that
in your head that's what's
appreciation
happening.
spilling into the pre-morning I refuse to do because I believe he will live. But instead of fighting the brief thoughts of mourning, choosing to fight instead that lie that says that those thoughts betray some doubt, some mistrust of God, when I know that those thoughts make me human.
Yeah.
That God knows I am human.
Well, I don't know about that.
It doesn't make Joel's victory dependent on me never feeling unsure.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. Because I can understand, like again, I understand. I get it. I totally understand why you would turn to these desperate thoughts. I get it. There's no fault in that. None. There's none. But that's not the point.
Her expectation is so maddening sometimes. You know what she wrote on the eve of Joel's first surgery? The one back in January when we first found the tumor?
Interesting.
I seriously feel like a kid on Christmas Eve.
What?
I'm pleading for God to spare his life. And I'm tempted to despair because self-inspection leads me to conclude I shouldn't expect much of anything. And yet my wife is expecting a surprise party from the Lord, replete with presents and supernatural miracles. I envy her.
God, that's so real. Because it would be so easy. It's so easy. It is. That's why this stuff propagates so strongly. Is that like it's so easy to like throw yourself to this like thing. This unreal thing, but like this natural feeling like, what if something is out of my control? If it is out of my control, then what else is out of my control? How many things are out of my control? And if that's the case, then there are so many things out of my control that means there is like supernatural ability to like, God, that's so real.
Hop in bed, boys. Let's go.
Boys, get in bed.
Oh.
I mean, are you though? Like, that's the thing. Like, you probably are, but that's not the point. Like, the point is like when you are in this sense, Thanos, like the idea is that like, I can understand why people would turn to like religion when this type of thing happens. I don't. But I will say that when I was younger, I definitely did. Like when I was like, I mean, I was younger and my parents kind of like put me in that position, but like, it's really easy to like put yourself in a position of like, if I'm in a place of hopelessness, and I'm in a place of like pure depression and hopelessness and like all this loss, and there's very real consequences to these things that I have no control over, then I am totally open to the idea that people would throw themselves to things that are outside of their control to fix things like that. If the answer is this is completely out of my control and this is something that's going to happen because it is a force of nature, then it is very natural for people to reach for things that are forces of nature that are completely out of their control. I think there is a logic to that. Whether or not it's good logic, that's a different thing. That's not the thing they're answering. That's not the thing they're asking. That's not why people do it.
Sure.
Okay. This is the story of a very brave knight named Joel.
Joel the baby knight?
Yes, Joel the baby knight. But he's also Joel the very brave knight. And he was being chased by a dragon named Cancer.
Has the game made me sad yet? Of course it has. Oh man, you missed it. I went into some very deeply personal concepts. So yes, the answer is yes. But I think that's perfectly okay. Oh, I guess I could do that. Okay. Oh, this is like really old school gaming.
Because of his tumor?
Oh, I guess I
Where
can.
does the dragon live?
In a forest.
In a forest, huh?
Is the dragon big?
It's pretty big.
Does the dragon breathe fire?
Oh, he definitely does. Oh. Alrighty, I guess I should. I didn't realize I could. That was something I could avoid. I don't know if I can avoid that, but I tried. Well, I didn't really try. What's happening right now? Am I alive? What is happening? Oh God, I may have broken it. Did I break this game? I may have broken the game. Oh God, did I break the game? Oh God, I broke it. I broke the game. How the hell? Really? Oh wait, hold on. Okay, let's go back to this. Okay. Apparently I broke it. Apparently, I don't know.
Hop in bed, boys. Let's go.
Boys, get in bed.
Oh. Can you at least tell us a story?
Also, I guess I had forgotten, like, at the beginning of this game, they really did, like, bring in the concept that there was a
is the
brother.
Story of a very brave knight named Joel.
Joel the baby knight?
Yes, Joel the baby knight. But he's also Joel the very brave knight. And he was being chased by a dragon named
Interesting.
Cancer.
Could you imagine having to tell this story as a child?
Because of his tumor? Where does the dragon live?
In a forest.
Okay.
Is the dragon big?
Very big.
Did I die from falling down? Okay, that's fine.
Does the dragon breathe fire?
So.
Okay, apparently I'm not sure how I was supposed to avoid that. Okay, that seems to have worked. Okay.
So, Joel has armor, like a sword and a shield and stuff? Ooh, or maybe a spear?
Interesting.
Yeah, that sounds good. So brave Sir Joel with his sword and his shield and his awesome spear.
Okay, there's really no way I can make that jump.
Jumping ability was being chased.
Oh, okay. Apparently now I can. Hold on. Whoa!
He also
Okay, Joel's got some hella hops here, guys. Joel should have. If Joel survives cancer, he will be an NBA player.
Yeah, it's kind of like help.
Yeah, it's kind of like help.
Oh, okay. Hey, it's the Eagles from Lord of the Rings. Bam. Bam.
You know, and he's not the only one who's ever tried to fight this dragon. Some very brave knights have fought this dragon and lost. And some are able to drive the dragon off, and they can go home, and they can quit fighting for a while. And they kingdom is safe.
Joel's been fighting this dragon for a long time, huh?
A long time.
I don't know who this is who's shooting this much shit at me, but you gotta give me a break. I don't know if I can do anything about this. Holy shit, what am I supposed to do? Alright, here's my plan. Okay, apparently I did it. Here's my chance. I didn't do that right. Okay, that's fine. Okay, here we go. All right, here I go. Boy, this game is tough. This is a rough game. Whatever you are, please stop. Oh, I can throw the spear from down here. I didn't know I could do that. All right, that.
But Joel found a nice empty cave where he could rest.
Really? Well, that's not really how cancer works, so.
The dragon couldn't find him.
I'm guessing that's not the case. Go, Joel, go!
But just when he thought that the danger was past, the dragon found his hiding spot and came after him in the cave.
Oh, good. Is this like Donkey?
Going to kill Joel. Joel's going to lose.
Why do you say that?
Because Joel is just a baby. Babies can't kill dragons.
You're right. The baby can't kill the dragon. But that's the best part of this story. God fights for Joel.
Well, okay.
Dragon cancer right with Joel. And we know that God can win even if Joel can't. That's grace.
Okay, sure. That's fine. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, this is a tough game. Ow. Hold on. I don't think. Oh, who's this?
Tim from church, Mom. He died from cancer. Wasn't God fighting for him?
Who are you? Who are you? Tim from church?
Tim fought so well.
I'm sure he did.
So strong.
Okay, I'm killing this dragon as best I can. Okay, this seems like a good spot to be in. Here, take that, bitch.
I'm so proud of him. So maybe for Tim getting to be done fighting those.
Hey out, Tim. Timothy. Oh my god. Okay, this is not a good spot for me. Ah! Okay, I did it. Okay, that doesn't work. Well, Tim did make it, guys. Shit. But he did it on half a heart. Fuck. Boy, part of me in my head is sitting here going like, man, my gamer instinct is like, I could have won that. I could have won that. Does that mean that like, do I get, and like the initial thing in my head, and I hate this about myself right now. I really hate myself right now because in my head, my initial thought was, what if there's a different ending? And of course there isn't. Of course there's not. But that's my thought in my head. Oh man, what if I got a different Fuck. God damn. God damn. What am I doing? Okay. All right, so I got this. Oh, hey, what's up? Ryan. Okay, Ryan, get in the boat. Do it, buddy.
I can't.
You have to. You'll drown.
We're already drowning. Oh.
How can you sit there like that?
Oh.
Despair doesn't help anything.
Ooh.
Neither does false hope.
Ooh.
And I'm not despairing.
How can you say false hope? You're drowning.
Well, you're missing your oars, and you don't even know where you're going. And yet you're so sure you're gonna get there.
It's better than drowning.
Well, enjoy floating on the surface like you always do.
Ooh.
There's nothing deep about drowning. Just get in the boat.
You have to let me feel this. Someone has to.
That's not fair. I love him as much as you do. I just really believe we're going to be okay.
Oh my God. What do you do about that? Like, that's so hard. That's so harsh. Because both of them are like trying to like figure this shit out in different ways. They're both trying to process this. They're both going through the same pain, but like they're differently processing it. Oh, and that's gonna, and that happens so much. Like when it comes to like, from my understanding, when like parents go through like the loss of a child like this, it very, very often tears that relationship apart because they tend to come at it from different places.
Dear Mr. Barnett, I'm not sure if this letter will get to you. However, I felt the need to write to you in your company. My daughter recently passed away after a long battle with cancer. And she was only 14 years old. In our short time with her, we saw her transformed from our wonderful little girl into a sickly child who spent far too many days in her bed full of pain. And we worried that we would never see her happy again. Well, the hospital gave her access to a computer, and she found her way to your game. I'm unsure really what it is, but from the day that she began playing Legends of Terrace, our daughter changed. She sat up, she was excited, she smiled again. She told us all these stories about what she was doing in the lands, all the things she wanted to do in real life but was too sick to try. She swam in the ocean, rode a horse, she had birthdays, bought a house, and she went on adventures with these new friends from all over the world. I don't know how to explain the happiness that it brought to us. For a short while, our daughter returned to us. She'd regained the wonder and an optimism that the illness had taken from her. She talked about the strange lands that you had made, the creatures, magical things, and adventures she went on. She lost her battle for life, but you helped bring our daughter back for a short time. And for that, we're eternally thankful. Sincerely, Julie.
So that's so powerful. So I talked about it earlier when my mom died and what happened with that whole situation. After that, there were so many things that I turned to like find comfort, to find like a sense of like normalcy, to find like something to take me away from that, or something that would help me contextualize what happened. And now I'm thinking about it. What was that? I know exactly what it was. Like if I really, really think about it, That's when that year is probably when I started. Yeah, now if I think about it, that's probably the year I started my yearly playthroughs of Final Fantasy X and Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And I actually like did it for like 5 years straight, where I played those two games. Every year. I would play them once a year. And that's like, that's a really interesting concept, because like I'm trying to think back, like, why did I do that? Why was that? Why were those games the comfort that I needed? I think both of them, especially Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X like really deals with like the place of people in a world, with like asking like, where does faith become corruption? Final Fantasy X does that. Exactly does that. So like Final Fantasy X really deals with this like concept of like the world of like Spira, and like this concept of like Yevon, and like how it like deals with this entire world and the entire like ordeal of like faith, and how you fit within that, and what does that mean with you, and like does that actually meaningfully pull us out of this cycle of despair and death. God, that's so much worse. And then like Kingdom Hearts is like a comfort food. Like it really is. It's like eating this comfort food where you like you have this recognizable like Disney versus like Final Fantasy versus like this child being ripped from their world. Actually, if I think about it, like Kingdom Hearts is like, imagine like Kingdom Hearts 1, and like the actual story of that is a child who's torn from their planet because it's completely destroyed. And at that moment that they are torn from their planet, they are thrown into a world of endless other worlds. And they witness their friends being like, one of their friends is the one that actually like pulls you from this world and is like accepting this darkness, where the other one is like destroyed by it and you're trying to find them. It's an incredibly violent concept. No wonder people like turn to these things. I could totally see why people would use these things as ways to like contextualize what's happening, to find a way to cope, to find a way to like pull this concept from this ephemeral thing that is happening around them. God, that's so powerful. And I think I did the exact same thing. I did that. I absolutely did the exact same things.
I'm reminded that having faith does not mean denying what is happening to Joel. Faith means knowing exactly what is happening, and also knowing that God has a truth that trumps every other fact.
It's a nice feeling. Probably not true.
Dear Julie, thank you for your letter. I am honored to have played any small part in bringing your daughter joy. She will be missed within the game. I knew your daughter as Hanara of the Knights Guild.
Ooh.
In our world, she lived in Dvardik and defended the city many times from the forces of evil. Your daughter may have ultimately lost her battle with that dragon cancer, but in my game, she was the dragon slayer. Since you don't know much about the game or who she was there, I'm sending you a screenshot of one of your daughter's adventures.
Ooh.
Sincerely, Paul.
That's so cool. Like, I never did that. I never did that as a player. But could you imagine if like a game developer got a message like that? Because that's not why you develop that story or why you developed a game. But like, could you imagine if that... Could you imagine that? God, if that was like a story, like somebody came to you and said like, this is what my daughter played as she was dying of cancer. And it brought her hope. That never comes to your mind as a storyteller. I can guarantee you, like normally that would never come to your mind. How would you cope with that? Outside of the Knights Guild, you stand in front of the precarious entrance to the Knights Guild. The precarious entrance currently raised by allowing access to southwards to the courtway. North leads to the Dark Tower. Obvious exits north, south, southeast, southwest. Suit of armor is offering a quest. Use show quest. Hands, you are carrying a wildly flaming longsword sword in your right hand. Your left hand is empty. Nephirus flies to the north of Lammergirian, screeches at you. Nephirus flies from the north, letting out a loud screech. Hello. Hanara says hello. The sun has begun to set across the land of Terrace. Visari, the goddess of time and history, appears before you. Please be patient as I record the deeds from this day. You feel the comforting sensations as a strange glow appears before you. Visari smiles upon you. Thank you for your patience. Nephirus says, hey. Salute, Neph. You snap to attention as you salute Nephirus. Nephirus dismounts from her furtive lammergirier. I don't know what that means. Look, Hanara. Hanara, profession. She is a human fighter in excellent health. She appears to be a novice and a warder of the gate of Knights Guild. She is a great unwashed of Devaric. She is a citizen in good standing. She carrying a wildly flaming longsword in her right hand. Her left hand is empty. Her armor consists of dragon helm, of padded cloth armor, thick linen leggings, simple leather boots, rose-crested tabard, padded linen gloves. Her jewelry consists of, she's not wearing any jewelry. She is mounted upon a black war stallion named Lucky. She is your equal. Oh, I bet that's probably very, very, very relevant. Ooh. Interesting.
I'm sure my expectation looks like denial, but seeing Joel dying does not make me any less certain that he will be healed. In some ways, I feel more certain, not because the same doubts don't come to me, but because I know that they will not be entertained much longer, because this chapter is almost finished. And we will have an ending one way or the other. So the doubts and fears that make me reaffirm that even if I'm wrong, this is where I stand, become less and less powerful.
I think that... Isn't that like a staple of like any story though? That like the power of hope will always supersede the power of reality.
People's conciliatory words of comfort meant to reassure us and help us accept Joel's death don't sit well with me. They aren't offensive because I know the heart behind them is good, but they are weak words because it's so obvious to me that death is the given. I don't have to work to be ready for it or accept it. It is coming whether I would accept it or not.
Oof.
It has been coming slowly for so long. I don't.
She knows. She knows. So everything she says up to this point has been.
It is obvious. Heaven is amazing, and so I'm not worried about death. It will come regardless of where I stand and wait. But now, Death is circling close enough for redemption to finally feel closer.
She knows. So she's not like completely like ignorant of what is happening. She knows what's happening. She's not like delusional to the point where she's like, oh yeah, he's definitely going to survive. She knows what's happening. She knows that Joel's going to die. She's very aware of that. She's just not ready to like completely give in to that because Joel still clings to life. And there's nothing, I can't fault that at all. I can't fault that for 1 second. I can't do it.
This is the part of the story where a daring rescue can thwart Death's intentions just in time, perhaps when it looks like it's already too late. I want to watch for that. I don't need to focus my eyes on Death, studying it in its slow progression. Its course is already clear. But there is a glory that is coming, and its journey to us is wild and quick and frightening, and I want to be watching for that glory. I want to stand trembling in awe before God and His power. Not sure that this thing that we've asked for is something we can quite manage, but trying anyway. Death is the given. But the life that is possible now for Joel, the miracle that could come now that death is so close, is something worth pursuing, worth risking everything to see with my own eyes.
I think she's accepted it. I think she's accepted what's going to happen, but she's hopeful. I think we all kind of do that, right? Like when the worst thing is possibly going to happen, we all particularly go for this concept of, well, what if it doesn't? What if there's something out there that could like prevent the worst thing from happening? We all do this. We all cling to hope. What that hope looks for like is completely different. Is it religious? I don't know. I would never subscribe to that because that's not who I am. I used to be that way, but like I'm not that anymore. And I would say that
there
like
is an incoming break for adverts in 2 minutes.
I would never like cling to religion to say that I think that like this thing that is going to happen will not happen. But like there's part of me that would go like, well, what if it doesn't? If your mother who has a child who's about to die, if your mother who has a child who's barely begun to live is about to die, you're not sitting there going like, well, I guess that's the way it goes. You're not doing that. You're hoping. You're hoping against hope. You're finding something to cling to. You're finding something to keep yourself going. And I think that's so understandable. There's nothing wrong with the way she feels. Even if I don't agree with the premise, I get it. I get it. This is the one thing in the world that you love, and this is the one thing in the world that like means more to you than anything in the world. You would give up everything for this child. And everything around you is telling you that child's gonna die. They will cease to exist. Of course you're looking for anything, everything that allows you to hold on to something. Anyway, we're about to go to ad break. I'm going to take a break. I'll see you guys in about 3 because I don't want this to be missed in that point. So I'll see you guys in 3. What was that?
On the baseball bat.
Nice. Ow!
Oh, shit.
What the hell was that?
Oh.
Okay.
Why did you do that?
Oh no!
Why would you do that? What the why? Okay. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Okay, so.
There's one over there. Oh hey, look! Oh Freddy! Oh my god! No! God damn it! That was. I got murdered by Freddy freaking Fazbear. Me. I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat? He's throwing a I asked this on the last stream, but I wasn't sure if it counted. Like, if you are a pirate furry, is it like ARG XD? Like, or, you know what I mean?
ARG XD, Nuzzles, Wuzzle, Zulu, notices your scurvy. Notices your scurvy. That one.
Oh god, it's alive for you! I told you!
Yeah, this happened earlier. What? What's up?
Come here.
Okay, I'm coming. Oh!
Guys, there was a mine there.
No, James, you shit!
Alright, it's down the Arctic and Therapy.
You did that on purpose? Or even better, it would be like Fortame on his deathbed. You know, we've lived a long life, but he goes first because, you know, I'm the king, so I have better health care than he does. And, you know, he's on his deathbed, and, you know, he's looking at me and he's like, you know, I couldn't imagine my life without you. It's been a great long ride, and you've been the love of my life, and I'm so grateful that you were in my life, and, you know, I will die happy as a result. And I will look at him deep into his eyes, and I will smile softly, and I'll hold his hands. I'll put one hand between both of mine in a very loving and cherishing way, and then I will say, I threw that race on the gray tree. And then he dies, and that's the last words I ever say to him. Yes. Oh. Ah! Fuck that guy. Seriously though. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy so hard. Oh my god.
I'm it.
Oh.
Now you're gone.
Guys, go! There's a dog! There's a dog! There's a dog! Oh my god! Oh shit! Oh shit! I don't know. Ah! All right, we're back. Welcome back, everybody. We're back from break. I'm going to continue on this story. I know it's very intense. I know that I'm getting very into it, and I want that because I think that's like the point of this stream, is that these kind of games can allow us to like really explore some very deep and honest questions, and I think that's important. So I'm going to continue doing that. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, this game goes over some very deep and very, very, very dark concepts. And if it is something you're very sensitive to, please be cautious about watching this, but we're going to keep going and we're going to see where this goes. So here we go. see. He's trying to swim his way up, but he doesn't know how because he doesn't know the direction to go in. I see. Okay, let me try and... Okay. I guess I should go towards the boat. Because I feel like that's your center, is the people that you care about. Even if it isn't like the thing you want to confront. Because it isn't. He's struggling with it every moment. He's struggling with like the concept of like this pain, this like suffering that like constantly is hitting him, but he doesn't know how to like deal with it. He doesn't know how to like conceptualize that. It's so hard. Like if you're the parent of somebody who's like dying, God, how do you deal with that? There's no good answer to this. It becomes very clear that the wife is like clinging to this like hope from like religion and like supernatural concepts, and you're sitting here going like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. What if I didn't? What happens if I don't? Oh, is he sinking into it? Oh. Oh, that's horrifying. Dehydration.
Huh. The sunset looks pretty from here. The orange glow cast on the wall. Better than the muted colors of this hospital. I wonder why they choose blues and greens. They, the ones who choose the colors that heal. Green for life. Blue. For comfort.
Maybe.
Purple stripes to hide the stains. This chair is too small and sticks to my skin. I hate vinyl.
Oh my God. Could you imagine like thinking about details like, I guess like that would be very natural. Like if you spend a lot of time in a place like this, where like a hospital where like there's very commonalities, like I think if I think back to like hospitals I've been in, purple, blue, and green are very common. They do this on purpose. And then vinyl chairs, like, could you imagine the rest of your life where you're like, I'm not going to do any of that? That's a really intriguing concept. And it's so like out of place when you like think about like what you like unconsciously do with the rest of your life. Because we probably do that from like an unconscious level. We probably do make decisions.
Purple. The ocean, maybe? No.
We probably do make
silent
decisions
warm
based on things that we don't necessarily want to think about, but we probably constantly do this. We're like,
he won't stop crying
because he's in pain.
I don't blame him. He feels miserable. I hate that we're here. I hate that he's sick. I just want him to feel better.
You can't feel better about that. There's nothing you can do. Oh, why is this here? Is this your escape? Oh no.
It's okay, Jolie. Shh. Oh, don't throw your head, buddy. Don't. Here we go. Bouncing around. Do you like that? Oh, I love your giggle. Bounce around. Is that funny? A bounce, a bounce, a bounce, bounce, bounce. Oh, he won't stop crying.
You can't escape from this. This is reality.
I wonder if he's hungry. He's screaming louder. Buddy, don't you want juice? He hits the box. I don't catch it.
Well, I think the point of the scene is I think that's the point of the scene is that how hard is it? Like, this is your daily life. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. And like, this becomes the daily routine. This becomes the daily life. This becomes everything.
He drinks it greedily. Big, deep gulps. Okay, Jolie, that's enough. Breathe, kiddo. And he does. And I wipe his face of snot and tears and juice. And then he vomits. And I catch it. I always catch it.
Because you know it's coming. Because you know it's coming.
I know you're thirsty, buddy, but you'll throw it up. No, don't grab too hard. You'll squirt all the juice out. Here, let me have it. It's so late, Joel. Lay down. I can't hold you. I can't make you feel better. Shh. Okay, buddy, okay. I'll hold you. Oh, Joel Bug. You look so miserable. No! Don't hit your head on the bars, Joel. Joel! I know you're mad. Please stop. Please. Stop. I shake. I weep. I pray. I plead. I need peace. You are. I don't know all that you are. You are there. I want you here. I want you to call my son. I cannot. And you've brought us this far. He's still here. Not dead. Not there. With you. I want him here with me. Please. Peace. He sleeps. Thank you.
The problem with this is that that's probably like a daily or nightly routine. At this point, it's like, this is what happens every night. I think like The part that makes him feel like
There's
he's
a story in the
drowning.
Bible where Jesus and his disciples are on a boat.
The part that makes him feel like he's drowning is that as a parent, as somebody who's like had a child, I've never had a child, but like I know my parents, I know my sister, I know people who have. To have something you care about so much in endless amounts of suffering that you can't do anything about. And I guess we've all kind of like had similar situations to this. The treatments cause him to be dehydrated, so makes it worse. Stomach thinks everything is foreign. Yeah, totally, 100%. There's nothing he can do about it. As a parent, like your entire concept as a parent is that you are there to protect this child, that you are there to raise them, you are there to be their rock, you are there to be everything for them. But if you're in their situation, you can't do anything about it. There's nothing you can do. It's all out of your control. And like the mother's reaching for her thing. The dad doesn't know what to do. He feels like he's drowning. That's what we're doing here. That's the whole point.
And a furious storm hits the sea and everyone thinks they're gonna die. And where do you think Jesus is? Rowing alongside them?
No.
He's asleep.
Yeah.
In the back of the boat. So his disciples are freaking out and wake him up and they say, "Don't you care if we drown?" So Jesus gets up and he says to the storm, "Quiet, be still." And the sea becomes completely calm. Then he asks his disciples why they are so scared and if they have any faith at all. Like he was frustrated with them. Because even though Jesus said, "Let's go to the other side of the lake," his disciples thought he was going to just let them die.
Because this, I could go into this, I could go very deeply into this. I could like talk about very deeply into the concept of like why, like the Christian God. This is so frustrating. I want to talk about things where like I think the Christian God is one of the most evil apparitions of human imagination possible. And like the reason why is so many things where like this is one of them, or like the concept of like Abraham and his son, like how we like put Abraham and his son through like the concept of like torture and pain and anguish and sacrificial concepts. But like the most fundamental reason why I have a problem with religion is that you can go all the way back to the Old Testament and like Adam and Eve. One of the most like compelling arguments I ever saw was the idea that like God put forth an apple and he said, and he told them not to eat upon this apple. The contradiction here is that the idea of right and wrong, of anguish and pain, of bad and good, of right and wrong, of evil and good was not a concept yet. In fact, the only way for these concepts to become real was only when they ate upon this apple on a tree, of which God said don't do. But at that time, they had no concept of this because God made it so they could have no concept of this. And then the moment they ate upon this apple from this tree, he made it so that right and wrong, good and evil, all these things became real. He made it so that women would have to have pain to bear children. He did all of these things after, only after they ate upon this apple. Only after. And that is that basically tells me that the God we're talking about, the God that people will cling to, has to be an unforgivable, unrelinquishing asshole. Like, that's the only possible outcome. He is a unrelinquishing,
So Joel died. Everyone does eventually, I suppose.
the concept that this is so powerful because he's not playing the song. It's just something in his head. But the concept is that does it matter? I think that's what we're trying to like conceptualize. This is all a coping mechanism. When we talk about like what we're feeling from this,
if he does die, will Jesus even care?
Why would he?
Will he weep for him as he did for Lazarus?
No.
Will he weep for me?
No.
I think greater than my fear of death is that of insignificance. Or rather, my default assumption is that my thoughts and passions and loves and the stuff of my being are insignificant. How could the creator of all that is and ever was love my son?
But they only would be. They only would be.
And could my soul stranded on this blue raft, awash in a sea of stars, ice, and dust, matter enough to him to turn his hand in mercy?
But they won't. The excuse will be that God works in mysterious ways. But the problem is that the only reason that matters is because you are hoping for some unknowable deity to come in, sweep in, and have this concept of significance. You place significance on this concept of an unknowable being that shouldn't care. If I'm God, why would I care? Why would one being care? Why would I care about a singular being when I am potentially the God of universes? I'm potentially the God of an entire planet. Even then, you're talking about billions of souls. The significance for people, the significance of like individual life is placed upon all of us. It's not about some being in the heavens that we can't foresee, that we can't see, that we can't even comprehend, but it's about us. It's about how we feel about them. It's about how our significance to them, the significance they hold to us. That's what it is. The meaning behind any of these things, the meaning behind any individual person, the meaning behind any loss is individual to each one of us because we feel these things. It's kind of like the concept of like morality. When we talk about like morality, like if we were talking about like Christianity morality, the idea would be that like morality can only exist because of a belief in God, which is complete and utter horseshit. Like the concept that like you can't be moral, you can't have morals without some sort of religious belief is complete and utter horseshit. In fact, a person who is able to be moral without the concept of God is actually far superiorly more moral than anybody without it. Anyone with the concept of God. Because at least I am moral because I truly believe that thing. It's the same as loss. The reason why this person means so much to me, the reason why this hurts so much is because this person means something to me. This person means so much to me and the people that know them and the people around them. It has nothing to do with God.
Even while Jesus wept for Lazarus, 5 minutes later, he raised Lazarus from the dead.
I'm sorry. I should have known we'd both end up in the same place. We always do. It just scares me every time. I just really believe he'll be healed. I know you believe too, just when you act like that, I get all unsure.
I don't know that.
What do you mean?
I just hope that. I don't know.
Interesting. This is very different beliefs we're watching as two people who are coming to this like conceit that like he hopes something, where she is taking that concept of hope and put it into this like concept of belief. And that's a very different thing. I personally hope that the world will overcome so many of its problems. I hope that we will overcome poverty. I hope that we will overcome war. I hope that we will overcome religious problems. I hope that we will overcome fascism. I hope that we will overcome Donald Trump. We will not, but we didn't. But it is hope. I don't necessarily see it as belief. It is a very different construct. Oh no.
All right, kids, you know what time it is.
these like the constructs of cathedrals in our heads. Oh no. Oh no. I think I know what's about to happen. I don't know if like deviating from the path means anything. But I don't know if it, because I'm guessing this is I can't escape from this. This is a thing that's going to happen. And that's kind of the point, isn't it? Like, we all knew where this path led to. We all kind of understood this. We just, much like the mom, really, really had hoped it wouldn't. But the problem is,
Lord, rise up. My God, come save him. Lord, rise up. My God, come save him.
what is that in front?
Oh, Lord, my God, let this boy's life return to him.
I will not let you go unless you bless him.
Think about
We just agreed there's nothing we hold on to.
You know, as we come tonight to pray for Joel.
think about like religious concepts. How terrifying can they actually be? If you're a child and witnessing this type of thing, how terrifying is this actually?
Oh, Lord, my God, let this boy's life return to him.
Oh. Let's say for a second, what is happening right now? I've been brought back here.
Pray with all the strength and all the faith that is in us, Lord. There is no time left for this child on this earth.
Oh my God. Because like oh God, this is one thing I hate so much. I will talk about this after this is done, but this is like an important scene. But like, I will say this: religion is an incredibly violent concept. Like when we talk about like religious concepts or like even like religious feelings or sex or like even like the language that they use in their like in general concepts, it is so violent. It is so violent. Like religion uses violence and fear and everything to like control and to like create a narrative.
He was not in the wind. He was not in the earthquake.
Oh boy.
He was not in the fire. He was here in a gentle whisper.
Oh. The whole Phoenix thing. Oh, that's so beautiful. Because like it's not about this idea of like eternal damnation or like living in heaven or anything like that. It's about like how do we go forth? How do we continue to be on? Picnic at the edge of the world. Interesting. How do we go forth? How do we continue to live in memory? How do we impact the people around us? How does Joel here continue to impact the lives of the people around him? And I think that all matters. It all matters. Amy from Ryan. Oh, that's so fascinating.
So here we are. And the air is emptier without his laugh, and yet our hearts are still full, but with a different drink. And this ride we've been on for so long is silent. And so also the Lord. And so we sit here in this new silence and long for the music to start again and for the disc to spin again, even if it means going round and round for many more years. For at least we would be moving and Joel would be laughing here on earth and not only in heaven. But in this space, I sense his silence is only because he is drawing his breath. And now we know love and longing, empty and full, all in one moment. And I am grateful that we loved him well, and that we miss him well. And I hope that in the Lord's next breath, he will whisper his love song to you, his beloved, and that you will know him differently and more deeply. But now, we grieve in silence, yet not without his presence.
Oh. This is like full circle. This is taking me back to the park. Oh, I love this. I love it. I love it. I love the cyclical nature of this. Oh, please.
I remember you. You made it too. I'm glad you're here. I love it here. I bet you would like it too. Look at all these pancakes. Did you ever see pancakes like this? They're big as me. A big one is for me. A little one is for my dog. I always wanted a dog, and now I got one.
Oh.
I even got to name it. Manju.
Oh. Oh, it's a bubble blower.
Whoa, bubbles? Manju doesn't catch a bubble. He likes to bite them. I love bubbles. Look, I can catch one.
Can you?
I want more bubbles. I love the bubbles.
I want you to catch one. Can you catch it?
Do you see a rainbow in a pebble?
I do.
Manju loves syrup.
Who
Me
doesn't?
too. Syrup is my favorite part. Come here, Manju. Have
Oh.
another pancake.
But he's at peace. I don't know if that means that he like passed away. I'm guessing that's the case, but like he's at peace and he isn't in pain. He isn't suffering. Maybe that's acceptance. You know, they always say there's like the thank you for playing. Oh. They always say there's like stages of grief, and I feel like that might be Joel Evan Green for Joel Evan Green. Oh no. He lived like 5 years. Oh my God. Oh, they had several brothers. Oh, so they did have that many kids. Oh my God. But like, that's so horrible. You know, and like, there's no way I think what I love about this the most, they're not telling you what is the best way to deal with it. They're not doing that. They're not saying like the mom's way was the right way. They're not saying that the dad's way was the right way. They're not doing that. Now I have obviously I've expressed very heavily my preferences. I think I've definitely done that. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that this child went through this, and these parents went through this whole thing for 5 years of their lives. And that child fought and fought and fought. Whether or not he understood what he was fighting for is kind of irrelevant. He fought, and they did the best they could, and they did everything they could. They tried as hard as they could, and at the end of the day, it didn't work. It didn't end in the way they wanted it to, but at the end of the day, they also realized that child ended their suffering, and there's probably no end where it was going to be like perfect. It was never going to end in a way that was like the child would survive and become this. And if that wasn't the case, like maybe there was a story where this child could have survived and become something to tell a story beyond this, but they didn't. And that's okay, because there was nothing they could do. And they fought. And they both dealt with it in their own way, and I think that's okay. At the end of the day, you could agree with me on my diatribes about religious concepts and like where religion goes wrong and things like that. You can agree with me or you don't. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like, everyone's dealing with pain. Everyone deals with issues. Everyone deals with loss. Everyone deals with a lot of things. At the end of the day, while I encourage people to constantly reevaluate and think about what they're doing, you need to first survive. Because at the end of the day, if you're not surviving, if you're not able to make it through what you're dealing with, none of those other things matter. So the first thing you do, always, survive. Find what it is in you to say that it matters, to say that life matters, to say that going forward matters. That all matters. There was a lot, guys. There was a lot. That was a lot. I'm glad we got to play that. I knew it was going to be an emotional ride. I had planned for that. I knew what it was going to be. But it's always harder to like experience it and work through it in your own way. Everybody should like, I don't know if this is something that everybody should do or everybody should play. I don't know if that's the case. That's probably not the case. What I would say is that like never close yourself off to experiences because you're worried about they might feel uncomfortable or bad. Things that are sad or things that are invoke very strong reactions. Things that invoke very strong emotions and feelings can be good, can be powerful, can be beneficial, and can invoke thoughts and ways for each of us to contextualize and look at things going forward. Maybe, and that's the thing, Spirit, is that like this may be like the third time you've seen it, but like hopefully me doing it has presented something different from the other three or the other two. And hopefully maybe there's something there to think about. And I think that's like the benefit of something like this is that when we play games like this or when we experience stories of this nature, is there something to pull from it? Is there something to gain? Is there something we can help ourselves feel?
Oh, that's simple compensation. You know, for all the times he's been roasted by the conspiracy and still couldn't come up with a decent comeback.
No, I'm not doing that.
Gotta remind the world he's the king of whatever this is. At least make it 51 feet. Nazen, go big or go home. You pompous lemur.
But thanks everyone for joining me tonight. I really enjoyed playing this game. It definitely made me feel a lot of things. It definitely made me talk about a lot of things. Definitely made me express a lot of things. And I hope it did. And I hope it can help in some way. And I hope these stories have an impact or have a way of making us feel things. And I think that like the way we contextualize our feelings are good. And I hope that we can all go forward with experiences that are worth doing. And that maybe down the road you can take this experience, take an unexperience, not just this experience. That's not what I mean. Take any experience that you feel and use it to build something better for you. And that down the road you feel like, hey, like I'm doing something better for myself because something in the past made me think about something that maybe would have passed by. Maybe I would have passed by without certain experiences in my life. So every bad thing that happens, every sad thing that we view, every sad thing that we experience in our lives can show us something. And I hope that those things can be both very tragic, but they can also be very enlightening. And that's what I hope for everybody. So I'm going to send you off tonight with that thought in mind. I will be back next week with Tuesday. I'm not sure what I'm playing yet, but we'll figure it out. And yeah. Have a good night, everyone. Enjoy. And have a good night, guys. Enjoy.
Smiley face, oh no, not the innocent smile. What are you plotting, spirit? Is this the kind of wholesome energy you are bringing to distract me while Nazan inevitably does something embarrassing again? Because if so, it's working. Too well. I am suspicious.